Hello, my fellow YouTubers and subscribers. Welcome to my latest movie review. Today I am going to be reviewing 1917. This movie was written and directed by Sam Mendes. Obviously, those of you who know Sam Mendes will know him from doing such films as American Beauty, and of course Skyfall and Spectre, the previous two Bond movies. So, the story of this film is actually based on a story that Sam Mendes' grandfather told him. The plot is as follows. Two young British soldiers during the First World War are given an impossible mission: deliver a message deep in enemy territory that will stop 1,600 men, and one of the soldiers' brothers, from walking straight into a deadly trap. There we go, that is your essential premise of this movie. This movie is an absolute masterpiece. I mean, this film just blew me away. On a technical level alone, this movie is phenomenal. The fact that Sam Mendes essentially shot most of this film in a continuous shot, pretty much all of the film is in a continuous shot. Except for one occasion, there is only one cut in this movie. I like the way Sam Mendes filmed this film because he essentially filmed it in a very long continuous shot, as if you were there with the soldiers. There is only one time when they cut in this movie, and that is when they go from day to night. Other than that, this movie is one long continuous shot, and you really feel like you are there with the soldiers on this desperate mission. And you really do feel as though you are in the thick of it. And this movie displays the horrors of war, and it's quite a harrowing film to watch in that regard. This film really does display the horrors of war quite dramatically, and the two soldiers that we follow in this movie, one of whom doesn't last particularly long, and the other of whom we do sort of follow further. They are very well acted by the actors, and you feel completely sorry for them. The older audience members will be reminded of certain horrors that they might have experienced if they were involved in this, or if they knew about it at the time. Sam Mendes has captured the essence of what the war was like, and it's really, they're in a race against time, not only to fight for their own survival, but to deliver this message, which is of the utmost importance. And there is a saying, it's not the destination so much as the journey, and this movie is that. It's about the journey to the destination, and the way in which we go on that journey with them. We feel like we are there with them. This film is totally tension built, and it works in its favour. I love the spectacle of the movie. There is a small amount of action sequences in this movie, passing by, but I really do admire the technical achievements of this film. And if this film does not win Best Cinematography, I will rip the Oscars in half. I don't mean that badly, but Roger Deakins, who was also the DOP of Skyfall, he returns now with Sam Mendes, and it's just phenomenal to look at as well. This movie is just brilliantly shot. The whole one shot does seem, well, very seamless. And never once did the camera jolt, or never once did the shot feel like it was, it lacked any sense of movement. It was always consistent, which I appreciate. And as well, there are times in this film where there is just silence, and there's not a huge amount of dialogue, which I appreciate, because those moments can often end up being more powerful than others. To begin with, there is a fair amount of dialogue, and there is dialogue across the film, of course, but I like the moments when they are going across these the wastelands and these war-torn environments where they're seeing all these dead bodies, and it's really just harrowing to watch. The music as well by Thomas Newman is very good, although the music doesn't feature too much, but when it's there, it's good. It's just constant suspense, constant thrills. It never drags. This movie's only 2 hours long, and it's a perfect runtime. The acting in this film is sublime. I mean, there are some big stars in this movie who I shall mention. Colin Firth, Andrew Scott, Mark Strong, and Benedict Cumberbatch. Those people are in this movie. Yeah, they don't do an awful lot. They always have like one scene individually, but it works for what the movie's trying to do, because this movie is played out in real time. The person who definitely steals the show for me is George McKay as Lance Corporal Schofield. He is the one that we follow most consistently. The other one is called Blake, He sadly doesn't have a huge amount to do after the first half of the movie, but we follow Schofield for most of this film, and he is really very much in isolation on his own, trying to deliver this message. The story itself is very simple, it's very basic, but it works for what the movie is trying to do. This movie is more about the experience of the war rather than the story it's trying to tell. So I didn't mind the fact that the story was very simple. I left the cinema feeling kind of like overwhelmed, like, oh my god. I almost knotted up as well. There are some genuinely moving moments as well. Particularly, there's a scene towards the latter half of the film where Schofield meets this French woman who's carrying a baby. It's not her baby, but it's a baby. And he gives up a lot of his food and the milk that he got from the farm so that he can provide for the child, which is very nice. This film is quite emotional as well. There's a lot of emotional scenes with the characters, even though they don't spend too much time developing the characters, because I mean it's war. The situation kind of adds the emotional weight to itself. It's beautifully done. It's just beautifully directed. It was just a stunning experience. I mean, I will definitely watch this movie again. I will definitely buy it. You just really get the sense of what it was like. I mean, it probably is a very close vision as to what the war probably was like if you were there in real time. And again, it's tension, suspense. It's built up so well, and the climax is enthralling. This movie is an enthralling masterpiece. Sam Mendes is one of our greatest directors, and this proves it. All those people who doubted him for Spectre, fair enough, but I love Spectre. I will always stand by Sam Mendes, and I think people who denied Spectre should look at this movie and reassess that Sam Mendes is a very talented director, and I hope he goes on to do great work in the future, because this is just out of this world. I don't know how he can top this. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So far, I know we're only in January, but it's so far my favourite film of the year. Whether films like No Time to Die will beat it, I don't know, but it's definitely an experience you have to see. I actually might try and see this film in IMAX, because I think it's worthy of that level. Even though the pace may seem a little slow to begin with, but that's because it's all in one take. It is continuous, so you are following this journey. Although for me, I wasn't bored. I found the pace to be fine, but other viewers might think, God, when are they going to get going? But it pretty much from the beginning they go, and it's straight to the end. It's an intense journey. Yeah, I love this film. I absolutely love this film. It nearly got me teary-eyed at the end, actually. It really did. I will definitely see this movie again. I highly recommend it to anybody who likes filmmaking or just wants to see the movie. It's worth seeing, even just for the journey that these characters go on. It's just a very emotionally engaging film, and you can tell that Sam Mendes has put a lot of passion into this. So, without further ado, I'm going to close off Score 1917, an easy 10 out of 10. So, that's my review of 1917. Thank you very much for watching. What did you think of this movie? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please comment down below. Let me know what you think. And stay tuned for more reviews. So until next time, I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See ya.